This, my friends, is not a 2020 BMW X3 M. No. This is not the $82,700, 473 horsepower, 0 to 100 kilometer an hour BMW X3 M. No. This is the six-figure BMW X3 M. More specifically, this is a 2020 BMW X3 M Competition. I'm sorry. That's the Stelvio Quadrifoglio creeping up on me. Interesting fall I've had, I suppose. But I'll get back to that in a moment. No, see, so the competition starts at $93,000. And what you do get for that extra money, well, you're entitled to 30 extra horsepower. Yes, 503 horsepower. You do get 21-inch wheels, unique to the competition, but because BMW Canada is so brilliant, they've equipped, and I do mean that, they've equipped this X3 M Competition with lovely 20-inch wheels that work really nice with the Donington Gray, which is one option on the truck, by the way, and some Pirelli winter tires, thank you. You do get M Sport seats and a few other things. So $93K, that's a $10,000 difference over the regular one. This particular model, my good friends, is $100,045 because it has a few options. Because why not? It has an advanced driver assist package, I don't care. It's got the premium package, cooled seats, heads-up display, which is lovely, and the Donington Gray, $100,045. Let that soak in for a moment. What I do love, actually, about the X3 M, at least for me, Donington Gray is a brilliant color. Actually, I'm going to keep walking around because there's more light on the other side. The sun is so low this time of year. It's not even that late in the afternoon. You know, it looks all X3 with a bunch of extra aggressive, you know, M stuff. Which, I mean, to name a few, there's the M Sport bumper, there's the M adaptive suspension, there's the M roof spoiler, M bumpers, M quad exhaust, M active differential, M sport brakes. I think you get the idea, right? Well, you see, but if you don't know what you're looking at, it just looks like a regular X3 with maybe a few extra add-ons. That subtlety, so German, so perfect. M Sport bumpers. Oh yeah, well, a few other differences with the competition over the regular is that everything is kind of blacked out in the front, which I love, especially with the Donington Gray. Again, it gives you a good idea what the front M Sport bumper looks like. And I keep walking around because there's another telltale sign. Oh, here. You can also see the roof spoiler. I love how it's upswept and cut there. It's fantastic. The tailpipes on the competition are black, contrary to what you get in the regular X3 M. I don't know, I could soak this in for so much longer. So many details, yet it's still fairly elegant, I suppose. Yeah, I guess it's worth doing the usual tour. It's still a new 2020 X3 M. I'll try not ruin the shot. The sun. That's a lot of trunk. I think it's about 560 liters and change. Love this little pouch here, a little opening. This can be very useful. There, see, you wanted proof of the price? There it is. That's my truck. Very useful. Power hatch standard on the X3 M, obviously, and it's nice and quick. Yeah, just the way I like it. All right, so back here. Oh, so this is merino leather with, I think it's called mid-range, tan leather with black. This carbon fiber is also optional. But suffice it to say, back here, 2 passengers or 2 baby seats, 2 adults, they are fine, but there's no room in the middle for someone else. And here I think you're getting an idea of those M Sport seats. Love the shades, by the way. Those are part of this package. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, see, that gets a good look at the beautiful carbon fiber. Very popular option, that, and I can see why. All right, so these are the M Sport seats. They are incredibly supportive, very comfortable. adjustable in all kinds of different ways. And do I love them? Very much so. All right, so let's slide in, start her up. Yes. So that's your 12.3-inch IP, which is lovely, configurable. It works out beautifully, so clear. Everything is lovely. I don't think you're gonna see the heads up. Oh, there it is, yeah. You can adjust the height, brightness, and all that. There's your 10.25-inch screen, which I'm not apologizing. It is obviously operated by the iDrive wheel here, which although there are countless menus, I mean, yeah, to get around will take 2 or 3 steps unless you know exactly where you want to go. Complex, but not at the same time. Typical BMW layout for the HVAC, which is very nice. Love the feedback from the button and the texture. This is your shifter. Just to show you, so that's reverse. Typically in these electronic shifters, when you press park, it pops back in to neutral, which is down here. But anyway, so this is drive, and then that's manual. See? And the downshift and upshift are on the right side, which is something we appreciate. Wireless charging, storage is good. I'm telling you way too many things that you don't need to know. But what you do need to know, and I'll show it to you in a bit, that and that. So this is a growing trend with the Germans and their high performance vehicles. So these are your programmable drive modes, which in fact in the X3 M Competition you don't exactly have drive modes per se. Oh, come on, let's go. Thank you. So you don't actually have drive modes per se, because you can program, there's your heads up display and view, your MX drive in either 4-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive sport, which is really cool because 4-wheel drive sport gives you a more even split, and depending on how you configure the other functions. So here you have your throttle, your dampers, and your steering will give you a bias front to rear that's a little bit more sporty, if you will. Yes, oh yeah, see also, I forget what you call that. Anyway, gesture recognition, something. And in 4-wheel drive, it's a little bit more of a front wheel bias, but anyway. So you can configure your M2 and your M1 buttons. M1, as you can see, I have it, well no, actually you can't see it there. This is gonna be a long video, huh? So the ESC is on, I have regular X-Drive, sport engine, comfort chassis, comfort steering. And then if I go back, M2 is, yeah, get out of the way. So that's gives you a little bit of slip for when you want to have a little bit more fun, and everything else is fairly self-explanatory. All right, I think I've bored you enough with the details on the inside of this thing. So let's take her for a spin. Oh, this is an important button too. Quiet mode, which isn't quiet. Loud mode, which isn't that loud. It's a weird one. Anyway, let's do this. All right, so while I'm strapping in stupid panoramic sunroof, which actually is kind of damp-ish here. Anyway, I'm just saying that out loud because I have that problem in my Golf, these damp sunroofs that everybody seems to love. All right, what I want to say, so many more things. This is an interesting one, I suppose, right? So this fall, or earlier this fall, I've had the opportunity to drive the Stelvio Quadrifoglio, which is also a $95,000, 505 horsepower, crazy compact SUV. I've driven the AMG GLC 63S, which is another 503 horsepower, mental $92,000 compact psycho SUV, but that is by far the torque monster with 516 pounds of that stuff, which is why it's actually the quickest of the bunch. And then there's another one. I've not yet driven the new Macan Turbo, but I am expecting some incredible things from that, but it's really down on power. I think it's 434 horsepower and like 406 pound-feet of torque, but the pricing of 94.2, smack in the middle of all of that. And while I'm at it, it might be down on power, but with the Sport Chrono package, it's a 4.3 second 0 to 100 kilometer an hour sprint. This is a 4.1 second 0 to 100 kilometer an hour sprint, which is 0.1 seconds faster than the non-competition X3 M. So many things to say. Right, so I said 503 HP in this thing. HP. All right, here we go. So that horsepower comes in at 5,950 RPM all the way up to 7,300 RPM. The X3 M Competition has 442 pound-feet of torque, which is identical to the non-competition, which comes in at 2,600 RPM all the way to 5,950 RPM. What a coincidence. So what that means is there's power, and then it's just power, 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 until you essentially run out of track or distance to travel. This thing pulls, it's still very refined. It's nowhere near violent, much like the other monsters in this segment. If memory serves, I think maybe the Stelvio was a little bit raw by comparison. But all are extremely fast. I think it was a GLC that did it, sprinted at 100 kilometers an hour in 3.8 seconds. Let's just compare that right now, okay? So the AMG GLC 63 is the first one I drove, and it wanted to pretend like there was still an iota of civility left in the way it behaved. But it was all pretend. It was all smoke and mirrors. Not true. In fact, I liked the SUV, but I could never ever live with it. What's great about the Stelvio is that it doesn't give a rat's ass. Right? It just drives and punishes you, and you keep coming back for more. It doesn't pretend anything. It just is. And then there's this. This X3 M Competition, mind you, which has same M adaptive suspension as the other one, actually does have a minute layer of civility left in the drive. And I'm not kidding. There is a slight possibility that the slightly softer sidewalled winter tires, all these Soto Zeros are not exactly, you know, they don't have that much give in them. That could possibly influence that, but the gap is still huge between, well, the civility of the AMG GLC and the X3M. What else can I tell you? I mean, the M Sport brakes are fantastic. I love how they grip, and that 8-speed automatic transmission it will not relent. It will not give up. It will not let go. It will shift, and it has no faults, no flaws that I can find, whether I'm doing 30 kilometers an hour, 80, or a variation of a multiplication of both. It just never stops. Even from a speed that is close to the posted speed limit, getting on the throttle, the rear end squats ever slightly, and it just takes off. It just wants to fly, this thing. And the 8-speed, what I was just saying, even at really high engine RPM, it will allow you to downshift and will hold the revs at like 7,000 RPM if that's what you want. So many things to say about this. There are no actual drive modes. The X3M has drive modes, sport, comfort, whatever. This one, you can individually program or set up your dampers, your steering, throttle response, or like I showed you, M1. So essentially what I just did, I was in normal everything. In M1, things become a little bit more interesting. And the horizon kind of comes towards you a little bit faster. Do I like this thing? Oh, hell yeah. Better than the Stelvio. See, the Stelvio is a silly thing, which I like silly things. I like this better than the GLC. That is hands down the truth. The Stelvio, I would be taking a massive risk taking it over this. This is the smarter, safer choice. Let's put it that way. Having said that, however, the Porsche Macan Turbo, it will out-civilize all of the others. Won't be as quick. With options, will probably be the priciest. But you'll never have to justify that. But I do love this thing. It's freaking insanely fast, responsive, and this is a totally broken road. I'm right by the water. Can you see? Maybe. And I'm not suffering. This is an impressive piece. I really, really do love it.